Okay, I've had a request or two on a video for how I chain my equipment down and everything. And actually here in Missouri, they want you to have 4 points of contact, so there's just one chain and boomer on every corner. And then I think I'm supposed to on the excavator, I don't quite, but on that or a backhoe, I think you're supposed to have a chain on the boom in the machine as well. But what I just kind of do is I got these ratchet boomers. I hook this one to the back of the bucket and then down here to the D-ring. Probably would be better to run a chain through here and all the way across. The only problem is if I keep the machine where it's at, the boomer's too long, and if you put it over here to this, it either bottoms out or it just can't make the corner. You have to almost pull it up straight. But then the problem is with this trailer and the way these D-rings are designed, it just keeps sucking it over into the wood, and it'll actually break and pop the wood up and everything. So I mean, for me, I found out on the front this is probably the best thing to do. And then on the back, there's actually some big hooks and everything on these loaders, and there's just another set of D-rings right there. So then that way there's one on every corner. I got them one on the back. I don't do it where you pull it across because it's so close that it's, you know, it's pulling it in all directions where the load won't shift from side to side or anything like that, or front and back. But so that's kind of what I do on that. At the time, if I'm taking multiple attachments or whatever, I'll throw the grapple bucket inside this bucket and chain it down that way. And the preparator just fits on here with where the machine's sitting at right here, right now. And there's another set of D-rings up here. So that's the only thing I'm not a huge fan of on this trailer, is kind of the D-ring locations. So they're just 3 on each side. These 2 are closer together, and then those are further apart. I think this trailer is probably actually designed maybe for a backhoe, is what I can think of. Because you could chain the back on there. This would hit about, I guess, the front axle of the front end, and then that would be for where you could hook the bucket on and everything like that and chain it down. And I guess while I'm on that subject, this trailer is a 98 Felling is the brand, which I had never heard of until I found this trailer. And I think they actually came out yellow. I bought it from a farmer over in Kansas that I think he had it since it was, what did he tell me? I think he had it for 10 or 12 years, and I've had it for almost 5. So I think he got it when it was 2 or 3 years old. But he used it twice a year to move his D3 from one farm to the other. But like I said, it's a 98 Felling. It's got a 20-foot deck, 5-foot tongue, and then a 5-foot dovetail with some pretty heavy-duty ramps. I think he added that plate in the middle because it was just kind of angle iron stuff all the way across. And then he put that plate, and then I actually had one over here, and the welds ended up breaking on it. I just haven't got it welded back on for whenever he ran that dozer up there and everything. But the only thing I've ever done to it is put new tires on it, because when I bought it from him, they were pretty much dry rotted for as much as it set. So it's in good shape. Probably need to put a new floor or deck on it or whatever. I'm starting to get some boards that are kind of starting to break and come apart on that, and the brakes are getting pretty weak on it. So my plan is this winter to put all new brakes and everything on it and probably redeck it. So I may just take it out there to Loggerwade and see if he can hook me up with kind of what he did to his. But overall, I'm extremely happy with the trailer. It's heavy built. It's got 12,000 pound axles, so it's rated for 24,000 pounds, which are both of my machines. The loader I think is 12.2 and the excavator's 12.5. So if the trailer was like 15 feet longer, I could haul both of them at the same time. But it's not, got a little toolbox here. There's not a ton of room. I got a block for when I unhook it, and a couple extra boomers and chains and stuff like that. I've thought about trying to weld some expanded metal down in there to haul some more stuff, but then when you want to unhook it, you got to get to there. But yeah, like I said, I'm extremely pleased with it. I really haven't done anything, and it's been a good heavy trailer. It pulls fantastic. But that's just kind of a little overview of the trailer and how I chain the equipment down. I'll make another video kind of showing how I chain the excavator and everything down. It's basically the same. I hook these two in the front to the blade, and there's some tie downs on the sides of the tracks, and then I'll actually curl the bucket up all the way and let the bottom of it rest somewhere right here, which you can see my block fell off. It kind of broke through there, but I do that just to get the boom down low enough over the cab and everything. Yeah, I'm gonna haul this thing home tonight, because what I was showing in that other video is there's the pin, and you can't really see, but down inside this arm is another bushing that this pin sets in, and I think it's worn out, because you can kind of see the bucket when you get it down here and just touch the teeth. The back end of it just rocks and moves back, so I'm pretty sure those bushings are worn out. I think I changed them out 2 or 3 years ago. So yeah, I'm gonna pull that home, work on that tomorrow. Yeah, come back and pick the excavator up from here and call it a night. And here's how I haul and chain down the excavator on here. I just got the boom, like I said, sitting there, and probably to be 100% legal, I probably should have a chain or something over here, but for running around town, stuff like that, they've never said anything to me. I've been stopped 3 or 4 times, but this is how I kind of do. Like I said, a lot the same as the loader. It just hooks here to the blade of this D-ring, and then back in the back, it's got some hooks. So actually, for the excavator and the loader, those 2 sets of D-rings actually come out in about the perfect spot. But that's the only downfall that I don't really care for this trailer, is the D-rings and then kind of where they're at, because a lot of them are on the outside here, and I just kind of flop over. Well, these are well, actually I can show them this right here. These are bigger ones, but I guess they're made to slide. But the problem is, if you get something that's not real tall, it'll just keep sucking into the wood and everything. But that's the only kind of the only downfall that I've seen so far, and it's really not a big deal. Like I said, hauling the machines that I normally do, even the backhoe, I've moved a few times. It's not bad. It's just if you got like a bundle or like a, you know, a pallet of boards or blocks or something like that, you usually have to like run a ratchet strap all the way around and hook it to the frame, because this is even smooth underneath here, so there's really no good anchor points or anything like that. So I may go back in this winter too and add a set of D-rings, you know, kind of in between there and everything. But I think I've maybe used this thing 4 or 5 times for hauling either retaining wall blocks or like bundles of railroad ties and stuff like that. So primarily it's just pulling the excavator or the loader, so it's always kind of worked for me. But that'd be the kind of the one improvement in everything that I could think of that would make it a little bit better. I mean, and I do like the ramps. They do have a big spring on them, and they're actually pretty easy to unfold and stuff, but it's already got a big heavy foot on top of there, so when you get down, I mean, I still bring wheel chocks and everything with me just in case, because if you get it on the right hill, the excavator or the loader will pick up the back of the truck, because the truck only weighs like 16.2 empty. So you get a 12,000 pound machine this far back with leverage and everything, it'll still pick the back end of that dump truck up. But yeah, that's kind of my overview of how I chain down and haul the equipment and everything like that. So, and I guess I've never really gone into a whole lot of detail on my truck. It is a 1992 International 4900. It's got 78,000 miles on it, I believe. I think it's 78 original miles. This was actually a city truck up in Kansas City, Missouri. So it's probably only got 78,000 miles, but it's probably got 1,000,000 hours on it from sitting and idling and everything. And it's got the DT 466 in it, and the transmission is a 4-speed Allison automatic, which it is kind of nice around town, but it seems like 3rd and 4th gear just don't have a lot of power. I think this particular engine's it's either the 215 or the 230 horse model, but like I said, first and seconds, it's not bad, but it only runs about 50 miles an hour as a top speed, and you're not going to get there real quick. It's pretty slow at taking off and everything. But And if you look really close, you can tell it's pretty rusted out. I've tried to kind of paint over that or patch it up a little bit, but I mean the back of the cab's bad, and then the whole underneath side of the bed's all rusted out, and even the outside of the bed's pitted out because I'm pretty sure it had a salt spreader in the back of the truck. And they've actually, I guess the guy I bought it from up in Kansas City, he lined the floor inside there with diamond plate and everything. So it's, I mean, it's got a good solid floor. It's just the original floor is not there. And then I painted the wheels black because they were just all rusted out and crappy looking. I think a white, they may have been painted white, but yeah, that's about all. And you can see here it's got a nice big piece missing. But I paid, I think, right at $8,000 for this truck, and it had brand new tires all the way around. I've put new brakes. Yeah, I think I put new brakes all the way around last year, and I think 2 new slack adjusters in the back. But other than that, I haven't really done a whole lot. More just cosmetic stuff, basically. It's just put my decals on, you know, done the wheels and stuff like that. It's a 36,000 pound rated truck, double framed. Like I said, I think it weighs right at 16.2, so I mean, you know, 9 ton or a little bit over is about all I ever haul in it. So you can't get, you know, a ton of stuff, but getting around town, and usually for me, I've got a few buckets of dirt to either bring with me or, you know, some of it to haul off. But also it's been handy because I've had it where the big tandem trucks can bring me material, but they can't get it close. So then I actually load this, drive around the property, and kind of distribute the dirt a little bit quicker on that and everything. But yeah, I'm super happy with it. I love these little international trucks. I think that the engine's a mechanical DT466, so it doesn't have all the computer stuff and everything to it. It's got a 53 gallon fuel tank, which it'll actually running around town. I think I fill it up maybe every other week. If I run it, if I'm hauling off a lot of junk and running hard, I'll probably fill it up at least once a week. But it's not too bad. Like I said, it's pretty rough when you get there close to it, but from a distance and run around town, it kind of looks pretty clean and everything right now. The inside's nothing fancy at all, which I think you guys have seen in some other videos. The dash is kind of a turd brown looking, and the whole truck, I'm thinking, used to be like Smurf blue, because you can see blue up underneath the hood and in here and everything. I put, these are air ride seat, which I haven't got the air hooked up to this one, but we got some seats out of a 2002 International and put in here. But I'm hoping, oh, maybe this winter or something, I'm gonna take this out and maybe paint it kind of like a two-tone gray or something in there, just to dress it up a little bit more. And same thing with the doors there. I don't know what the deal is, but my last International, the whole inside of the cab was all brown, and then the outside of it was white. So apparently that's just the standard color that International picks. But an air brake truck, so it does have air brakes and everything. And I do have a Class A CDL because the trailer's over 10,000 pounds and the truck's got air brakes. So probably, I guess, my biggest complaint on this truck, which really isn't a big deal if you do it right, but is it's got a short tailgate, which the bed's pretty short anyway. I don't know if it actually ever had boards in here and somebody just welded that in, or if it actually came like that. But it'd be nice if the tailgate was like, I don't know, 6-8 inches even taller than what it is, because loading concrete or certain things, if you get it heaped up too high, it'll actually, when this is dumped and this tailgate's out, I mean, it swings up a little bit higher up here, but then the problem is the piece of concrete or something like that, it will actually just slide up against the top of the tailgate, and then you can't get anything out of the truck. Then you're sitting there fighting, trying to let it down, loosen stuff up and everything else. So that's the only thing, I guess, a big thing that drives me nuts with this. If I'm hauling off certain things, or even like the other day, I was hauling off a bunch of like wads of grass and dirt and rock, which is always a pain anyway, but a big wad of grass and roots and everything got hung up in that tailgate. So then I'm out there with the shovel trying to, you know, have the bed raised up, and I'm hitting it and picking at it and everything else and just making a mess. You just wear yourself out trying to get that out of there. But So that'd be the only thing, is kind of where that's notched down if it just went straight, and then that was where the top of the tailgate was and hinged, because you gain a little bit of height, because this is where the tailgate hooks on. So then that piece is kind of straight up. So I mean, the tailgate's probably another, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches higher than what it actually is. But yeah, I'm part of it. Like I said, I know that going into it, and it's one of those deals where I'm mostly in a hurry, so I just put one more bucket on there, and then sure enough, that's too much, and it gets hung up, and then I spend 20 minutes trying to get it done, where I would have been quicker just to make another trip and put less in there at one time. But live and learn. So, and I don't know, I kind of like these little international trucks. I just like the look of them and the size and everything. So that's kind of my I guess my review of the dump truck and trailer and everything. I'll get the excavator off and call it a night. Now, a quick update on the excavator. I actually picked it back up this morning from the dealer, and they've had it, I guess probably over a week. I think I dropped it off to him last week when we got done with that last sewer video that I did where I was locating that riser. But they came back to me and figured out after like 2 days of diagnostics, apparently, was that the control valve, what did they originally tell me? That they told me at first it needed to be replaced, and it was going to be like $6,000 just for the valve, and they're going to have to order it from Japan, and it was going to be like 3 weeks to get it in here, then I think another $2,000 or something worth of labor. So, you know, at that point I was like, well, whatever, I gotta have it. So, but then I guess the two mechanics got to talking, and they actually went back in there and just took the valve apart, or I'm not really 100% sure, took some of the valves out. I'm not as mechanical on this stuff as kind of what, you know, Richard and Jimmy and everybody, or Jason, is. So I guess they ended up taking some valves out, and then there's some springs that go in part of it, and they did find a little bit of junk and dirty fluid in there, and I guess 1 or 2 of those springs they said they thought was a little bit weak, and I guess it was what did they tell me, the line that ran kind of up there to the dipper boom and everything like that, 'cause that was the circuit that kept pulling the engine down and everything. But anyway, long story short, I guess they were able to clean the valves up and replace 2 or 3 of the springs in there, and then they flushed out all the fluid again, put a new filter in, and the thing runs like it did when I first bought it now. It doesn't bog down at all, and feels like it's got tons of power again, and everything. So I was excited about that. It was still like a $2,500 bill, but I wrote him that check with a smile, because I thought I was gonna have to pay like $7 to $9 grand by the time I bought that valve, and then they put that on there with the labor and everything like that. So apparently I need to get a little more mechanical on my equipment so I can just do some of this myself. And hopefully that'll last. I mean, the mechanics seem to think it would. Like he said, there's no guarantee. It could clog up again, or there could be another issue that's something in the pump or whatever's coming apart to maybe kind of clog some of that up. Who knows? I know the previous owner had it where it just stayed on his trailer year round. He didn't have a shop or anything like that, so I don't know if it can get, you know, condensation or water or anything inside the hydraulics and do anything, or if it's just sitting outside through the winter with the cold temperatures and then the sun in the summertime. I'm not 100% sure. No one really knows, or couldn't really tell me why. Maybe it clogged, but I ran it probably 6 hours a day, and it didn't bog down one bit. I mean, so it's just back to how it was when I very first got it, which is fantastic. It's a lot more enjoyable to run. And I guess they fixed the AC for me. I thought the compressor was going back. I thought it felt like there was play in the bearing and everything, but they just didn't end up putting a new belt on. So I guess the belt was stretched out or whatever, where it just was kind of squealing or spinning around there. So like I said, I didn't spend a whole lot of time on that, because you got to flip the cab up and stand on your head to basically get to the compressor, or the compressor for the AC. And I was more worried about it the way it was running and bogging down instead of messing with that. But yeah, now I've got ice cold air and it doesn't bog down, so I'm pretty happy. $2,500 was well worth getting the air conditioner fixed. So. But yeah, we'll see how long it lasts now. So hopefully it'll last for a long time.